The Pros and Cons to Social Media Usage and How to Fight Addiction to It by Mary Kate Truss. What is social media? What this report is going to talk about today is what social media is, what middle school age children, how much they're using it in the United States, as well as the positives that go along with social media. How is it benefiting these children? But the negatives are also going to be discussed and how it is harming these children. And then with the negatives, we're going to get into how addictions can be formed to social media. But in order to curb those addictions, tips and tricks are going to be given that will help fight the addiction that social media can develop in middle school age children. So, social media, it has many different outlets that can be used, and middle school students are increasingly developing more relationships through social media, and they are becoming more dependent on it by O'Keefe. So with too much reliance on social media at a very young age of a middle school child, that can potentially harm relationships that they could form when they're using Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Vine, Fallon Gaze, all these examples. It can be either good for the children or bad, depending on how much they use it. So, like I said, what we are going to be talking about today is what the impact that social media has on kids, on middle school kids to be more specific, how it affects their lives, and how Facebook, such as Facebook, how Facebook can affect someone's life if they use it too much, or how it can be beneficial possibly. And that will be discussed with all social media outlets in mind. Pew says that how kids are able to now these days form a strong bond to social media. But like I said, several tips will be given on how to use it in a more constructive manner. So, pro-con states that social media is something that is a very hot topic in societies today. A lot of people are using it. With all the popularity with social media, it is so easy to get wrapped up in it. Coos says that the dependence on social media is coming with our day and age, and how we are every day improving ourselves, and every day something new is coming, some new app is coming out. And a lot of things are put on social media. You can find out what someone had for breakfast or what they're doing with their life. So much can be put out there. So it's easy to use it in a good way, but it's also easy to use it too much so that it becomes a bad thing. And Strickland says that with the interactions can be harmed if someone is on social media all the time. And if younger and smaller middle school age children are using it so much, then they are not going to be able to interact normally in society. They're not going to be able to interact with their peers on a regular basis and in a normal fashion, Strickland says. So what benefits does social media have? O'Keefe says that if social media is used in an appropriate way and in a way that cannot form an addiction to it, then it could help them in the classroom. It can help them at school. They can use it to gain more insight on the world, Jackson says. They can use it to learn things that's going on in the world that they normally wouldn't be able to learn right at the tip of their hands. So they can expand and develop their nationwide and international knowledge. Also, middle school age children can form better relationships with loved ones. They can be more involved, and they can be able to see and keep up with how people are doing. Staff says that, if you use it appropriately, you are able to keep up with others, which is a positive. But with all good things come bad. So if people are using it too much, O'Keefe and Sasson both said that either using it too much so where they don't talk, or using it in a way that kind of bullies other people, that is definitely a harmful thing. That's either harmful to you or those around you for middle school children. So cyberbullying can come up with social media usage and too much of it. And now if it's used too much, relationships actually can deteriorate and cannot be what they should be, because that support system is being thinned out because children prefer to look at their phone as opposed to talk face to face. And a support system that is necessary lost at such a young age can harm people socially, can harm the children socially. Also, if a interaction of talking communication face to face is dead and no longer prevalent, Walker says that there will not be enough time talking to peers. They won't be able to build relationships anymore if they use it too much. Widecott also says that your moods can change. Children's moods, if they're looking at something happy all the time or sad, easily a mood can change. And that can essentially change the personalities of the children. But the solution to social media addiction, there are just a few things that can be done, and that will help. So Sasson says that if parents and children both keep track of the child's time spent on the internet and on social media, that they will not be as dependent on it because they will have time to do other things. Taking the apps off of the phone so they're not right at their fingertip at all times, that will also aid in children using social media. And not using it 24/7, Hussein says, is another way where they will have time to do other activities. So, in conclusion, if it's used in a positive way, social media can really help children in many fields of life. If that's the classroom, if that's with loved ones in far places, it can be beneficial. But it can also be harmful if it is causing a strain in relationships. But like I said, there are tools that can be employed that can help in aiding the social media addiction and overcoming it.